I'm Mr. Brandon. My primary is tuba, but I'm brass at heart, so I'm going to work with you guys on some articulations. So the first thing we're going to do is warm up, and you guys are used to the 5-to-1, right? But we're going to do it in A flat major. So your starting note for trombones is going to be
A flat.
You start on the 5th note, right? So what's the 5th note of the A flat major scale? E flat? Alright, and so concert E flat, you guys know what that is, right? Figure you guys. Alright, so we're going to start on the A flat major, 5-to-1, just like you guys have been practicing, with 8 counts per pitch, and then you're going to rest for 4 beats, just like you have been. Alright? So, if I was to show you guys what I'm doing, like I give you the counts of 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense to everybody in the older grade? Alright, so let's do it together. Starting on E flat, concert E flat. Here we go. Ready?
Wait, hold on. You sound like fizzling. Isn't it first finger? You're confuzzled.
Yeah, it's first finger.
You are Confucius.
Alright, so make sure that you guys breathe all the way through your instruments, right? You're brass players, you're not a clarinet player. Right? Air all the way through the instrument. Let's hear it. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. And rest. 2, 3, 4. 2, ready, and 1, 3. Now it's going to be open. 2, ready, and A flat. A flat's 1 for. Oh, your concert A flat, which would be your B flat, right?
B flat, yeah.
Yeah. Because the trumpet plays the major second
so
note.
it goes bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so this time we're just going to hold it for 2 beats just to make sure that we have the A flat down, the concert A flat key down. Alright, so 1, 2, off, 2, 1, 2. You're going to change after 2 beats, right?
Okay.
E flat for 2 beats, then you're going to go concert D flat. Alright, here we go. With 2 beats of rest in between each.
Okay.
1, 2, ready, and. Which is your B flat.
I just got messed up.
Alright, well, I didn't think this would be.
Confusion.
I'm not confused.
I'm talking to John.
Okay, so
You're confused.
your concert,
It
it would be your concert B flat, right? Or not your concert B flat, but it'd be like your fingering B flat scale,
B flat.
starting on your F.
Yeah.
So F, and then G, or G flat,
F,
right?
G
Yeah.
flat,
And then B,
D, and then you've got open
C, and then B flat.
B flat.
All right. So now that we're all back into the A flat key, we're going to keep that warm up, but we're going to move on to talking about articulation. So I want you guys to think of the first measure of Rock You Like a Hurricane. I don't want you to look at it, but it's da 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 da, right? If this was the tempo beat. All right, but I want you to think of, instead of thinking it all tongue the same, I want you to think of different syllables, all right? So the first 2 eighth notes has a tenuto over it. Does anybody know what a tenuto means? Well, a tenuto, it's the line over it. Basically, it means that you play it for full value, right? So all those eighth notes aren't going to be clipped, or they're not going to be any shorter than a regular eighth note. So we're going to articulate those with a do syllable. So it'll be do do ta, ta for the marcato, which is the upside down D, right? So the marcato, I brought a picture. I was going to draw it on the chalkboard, but we don't have a chalkboard. So what I want you guys to think about, can you guys see this? I'll move it closer. All right, so this is the start of the note, right? And the start of the note is going to be completely full. So it's going to have all of your air, and it's going to have the tongues up. So all the air comes exploding out, just like an accent, right? And you guys know about the accents and how the air controls it, not so much the tongue. Well, for a marcato, you're going to take it's going to still have the accented beginning, but then it decays. You see how the note gets smaller as it goes on? So if you think of the syllable I'm having you do, which one's longer, the do or the ta? Do, that's right. Because the tenuto has the full length of the note, right? Or the rhythm. So it's going to be, can you guys say this with me? I'm going to say a measure, and then I'll give you 4 beats, and then I want you to say the same syllables that I'm saying, all right? Ready? And do do ta, do ta. 1, 2, ready, and
Do do ta, do ta.
Can I hear you guys? I heard a lot of the trombones and not so much of the trumpets, so let's do it one more time with just the trumpets. Ready? I'll do it first. Do do ta, do ta. 1, 2, ready, and
Do do ta, do ta.
all right, that's great. So now what I want you guys to do is take the 5-to-1 that we were just working on, and you're gonna play that rhythm, right? So you're gonna start on your guys' F and your guys' E flat. Does that make sense? So it's the same notes that you were just playing. So you're gonna go F, and then you're gonna go G flat, then you're gonna go D, C, and then B flat for you guys. And your guys is E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat. Got it? Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I want you to really think of the difference in articulation and air with the question.
Alright, do we do the do do ta for each note?
Yeah, but you're gonna do it while you're tonguing. So it's
I know.
yeah. You're thinking of the syllables. That's why I gave you the
Yeah,
syllables so you can
just
do
do
it.
it one note each. Like, go.
It's gonna stay on for the first whole measure. It'll be your first pitch, and then you'll have 4 beats of rest, and then
Then we go to the next one.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and 1, rest, ready, and 2, ready,
Oh.
and 2, ready, 2, ready, and all right. So for you, do you know the rhythm, right? So it's if we were to, you guys count, right? You don't. That's how you count your rhythm. So it'd be 1, 2, or 1 and 2 and 3, and so that's the only rhythm you're gonna play for each pitch. All right, but we're gonna change through the pitches. It's okay. We're gonna move on from the warm up, but I heard the articulations were really different in the last 2 pitches. Would you guys agree with that? Did you think that the pitches were all good through every pitch, or do you think it was just mostly the last 2 that you guys really focused back in? I also think it was just the last 2 pitches.
Yeah.
So what I want you guys to do is we're going to look at Rocket You Like a Hurricane. You can pull it out now.
It's in here somewhere. Very behind the other.
And do you see the rhythm that I was talking about? It may or may not be in the first measure. And then it's on all the way throughout the song piece. But you see it? Alright, so what we're going to do,
They don't have it.
they have it later in the piece, but it's in your first measure. So what we're going to do is we're going to play from measure 1 to 35. We're going to play the whole thing from 1 to 35. And then we'll listen for the articulations. Try to focus on doing the articulations with the air and the syllables. Alright? So right at the beginning. 1, 2, and That's good enough. We have a couple things that we can touch on. So trumpets especially, you guys, I heard a little bit of the articulations. Now what I need from you guys is more confidence. You're brass players, right? So brass players, especially trombone players, they're known to play out, right? Like that's what the trombone section is. He's the trombone player. He knows how trombone players play. So it's all about the air, right? Pushing your air. You have a short tube compared to most brass players of how far you have to push your air through. So yours can come straight out. So what I need for you guys is more air and more confidence. I'm never going to get mad at you for playing out, okay? And he won't either. I know he won't because he likes your guys' sound. So make sure that you breathe all the way through. But that was good. Measure 1 through 9, really good. Trumpets, can I hear you guys at measure 5 into measure 7 when you add in the first trumpet? So the third trumpet comes in first with the concert G, and then the second trumpet comes in.
We all have third trumpet.
Oh, you all have third trumpet? All right, then that makes things even easier. So can we start right at measure 5?
Yep.
So it would be a concert G, which so that's your pitch. All right. So 1, 2, ready, and. Good job. Did you guys hear? Could you guys hear how they you started on the same pitch, but then as it went on into beat 3 and beat 4, the pitch sagged in one of the trumpet players and it sounded flat. Could you hear that? Okay, so what you should think about is basically for brass players the air support is crucial, like I was just talking to them. So if you can't make it through the 2 measures or even a full measure of playing that pitch, take a breath. There's 3 of you. So as long as you guys don't breathe at the same time, they'll never know that you guys are breathing, okay? Unless they see it, which that's fine, okay? So make sure that if you know that your pitch is starting to sag down, that you just drop out and you come back in when you can keep it up. You have enough air to keep it up. Does anybody know what that's called? When you're not breathing at the same time? It's okay if you don't. I didn't learn this until I was in high school.
Like stagger breathing?
Staggered breathing, that's exactly it. But also, being a good musician, that's good too. So, can I hear just the trumpets again at measure 5? And then really think about staggered breathing. So when you think that you can't hold the pitch anymore, drop out and then come back in. Take a deep breath. And, all right? 1, 2, ready, and. Do you know how much better that was? Now, when we get farther into it, and you've been playing this longer, it's at piano, but piano doesn't ever mean that your air support goes away. It just means that you're playing like so loud, you're trying to push your air all the way to the back of the room. This room's not very big, but if you're in the band room and you're sitting in the back, you're trying to push your air all the way through to the front chalkboard, right? In piano, you're just thinking of pushing your air through the horn and not all the way back. So you still have the same air support, but it's not as loud. Does that make sense? But we'll get to that later. Way better trumpets. That was so much better. So now let's put it back together. Let's have the trombones play with that kind of air support that I was talking about at the beginning, and let's work to measure 9. All right? That was so much better. Would you guys agree? Mm-hmm. Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs up down if you don't agree. All right, trombones, one quick thing. The first measure. So you guys are playing it E flat down to a, hold on, I looked at the wrong part. A B flat down to an A flat. Are you guys playing the, that's what you're playing, right?
No, we're playing
The baritone part?
baritone.
Alright, so it'd be an F down to a D flat. Really lock in on that pitch because you guys scooped down and then came back into it. Could you guys try that one more time? I know the D flat is farther away than the F, and I know you have to move it quick, but really try to lock in on that. So dun 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 dun. All right. So just measure 1, 1, 2, ready, and. That was better. So if you could do that every time, you'll never have a complaint about how you guys are. The articulation was good. The notes were pretty good. So just really focus on that. Okay. So now let's go from measure 9. Let's start at 9 and let's work till measure 18, and then we'll put this together. All right. Right at 9.
We held it too long.
That's okay. Alright, let's go back quick. Let's just hear the trumpets. Trombones, great job. Trumpets, right at measure 9. So you guys are on your C, which is right? So it's
Starting off at 9, that's our thing.
right. So it's only 4 beats.
Well, we're not used to starting off at 9, that's probably why.
Alright, well,
It's weird.
today we're gonna start at 9, I guess. I'm sorry that I'm doing it different.
It's fine.
Right at 9. So 1 and 2. Da 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 da. Alright? That's your 9. Just trumpets. 1, 2, ready, and. 3, 4, 1. Da, 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 da. Alright, right back at 9. I'll sing it with you. Alright? So you guys make sure you're subdividing, right? Actually, let's just count that. Or I'll count, you clap, alright? And when you see a marcato note, I want you to clap. And when you see a line over the, like a tenuto, you're going to pat your legs. Because this has a more definite start, right? Than this. Okay, so, yep. Right at measure 9. I'll try to do it with you. 1, 2, ready, and. 3, 4, 1. Right? Let's just clap it. It might be too difficult to switch. But you get the picture, right? The different articulations. Right at measure 9, just clapping. 1, 2, ready, and. 3, 4, 1. Would it be better if I slowed it down for you? Let's slow it down and let's count it together. Alright, so 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, and 4 and 1 and 2. Alright, that was great. You guys clapped it, and that was the right rhythm. So now we're going to speed it up just a little bit. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, and 4 and 1 and 2. Great. Now let's speed it up to tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, and 4 and 1 and 2. That's it, right? So now let's put it into our instruments because I know you guys can play the pitches. I heard you guys play the pitches. So let's just make sure you're counting in your head. I always tap my feet to help me know where the beats are. So if that helps you guys, you can do that too. So right at measure 9. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, and 4 and 1 and 2. Alright, so what the problem is the dotted half note into the quarter note. How many beats does that get? 4, right? So it's 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 and 1 and 2. However you got to think about it to count and know where you're at in the bar, you can do that. So one more time. I know you guys can do this. Here we go. Right at measure 9. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, and 4 and 1 and 2. That was the right rhythm. The rhythm was right. The pitches will come.
It sounded like.
Sometimes everybody sounds like breakfast. Wrong notes will happen. There's no shame in a wrong note right now. You guys only been working on this for how long? What? Since the beginning of the year?
No, since last year.
Yeah, we
It's
were.
my first year
Well,
doing this one.
See?
well, it's his first year, but
We've been
not
doing this
ours.
since last year.
Yeah,
They did
Mr.
this
Eno
since last
started
year.
teaching
Well,
it to us.
We're gonna get it today, alright? So let's start right at 9. I'm only going back on it because I know you guys can do it. Alright? Right at measure 9. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, Alright, let's go to measure 10. Let's go to measure 10. And so C is fingered open, right? And then E flat, the high E flat is fingered 2 and 3, right? Or 2. And then the D is 1, C is open, B flat is 1, and then open, open, right? So let's hear those pitches. Right at E flat, the and of 2 in measure 10.
Oh, so we start on this.
On the high E flat, yeah. I'll give you an E flat, or I'll give you a. Oh yeah. So yours is not higher than that. E flat.
It's higher.
Yeah, it's off a half bit or a half step.
Really?
It always. Try 2 and 3. Yeah, do one. Yeah, that's right. All right, so that's the first pitch. And then, yeah, E flat, and that's it. So let's walk through the pitches. First note, E flat. So the E flat we just played. So let's play the E flat. Ready, and the E flat.
2 and 3?
No, 1.
I did one. Oh, that sounds weird with one. Weird.
All right, well we'll come back to this. I'll circle it. I want to focus on the articulations. So right now we're not really too worried about because he said you guys hadn't been working on it for too long. So the pitches always are usually like, and when you tier the sight reading, articulations and rhythms are the first things. And you guys have the rhythm and you have the articulations. It's just going to be finding the pitches, and that's practice room work and homework, right? That you can do at home. Because you can play it down an octave and hear it and then play it up the octave. Does that make sense? So, trombones, can I have you come in at measure 9 and really focus on actually, let's move forward because I know you guys had your articulation right, but I heard this last Thursday when I heard you guys. So when it comes in at measure 18, make sure that you guys are staggered breathing like I talked with them, because there's no way that you guys can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures of 8 notes. I can't do that, and I have bigger lungs, and there's no way I could do that. All right, so if you guys have to decide that somebody's going to breathe at one point and the other person's going to breathe at the other point, all right? So let's try it with who wants to breathe before beat 1? So measure or beat 4. What's up to you guys? All right. Well, you breathe on beat 4, and you can breathe anytime it's not beat 4. Okay. So let's hear you guys right at the measure 18. So. Yeah, right there. on the G flat. So that was when you guys like started playing in the style that I was playing, but I want you to think of, like we talked about with articulations of the staccato, really focusing on the air. So with the staccato, it's kind of like you're getting punched in the stomach, right? It's like all the air is just like coming out, right? And it's like mostly your abs and your diaphragm that's pushing out the air. So it's kind of our wind ensemble professor or director really talked about this yesterday, which is good timing, I guess. So think of this like this is, you can think of this as somebody laughing, right? So I know it's kind of goofy, right? But if you think of that like intensity in your diaphragm, it really pushes the air through, and it's not so much tongue. So let's hear it together. Write it, measure 18. I'll play with you guys for a little bit. All right?
Just trombones?
Just trombones. 1, 2, ready? Did you guys hear more space that time in between the notes? You guys are good. Did you guys hear more space in between the staccato notes? All right, just because I said that you could think of the you don't have to bounce in your seat. That doesn't. You don't have to do that. All right, but really focus on the diaphragm pushing the air. And if you're starting to run out of air, there's no shame in dropping out for a beat and then coming back in, right? So, because I know once we got about 6 measures in, you guys were low on air, and I could hear it because the pitch wasn't as clear and it wasn't as in time. So let's hear it one time without me, and then we'll add the trumpets in. Back in at 18. 18? All right, right at 18. 1, 2, ready, and. You guys are good. So, that was way better. But I want you guys to think of really filling up on the air, and also thinking of the pitch being on the tips of your lips and not so much in your mouth. So it's not like you're, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right. But that was way better, way better. So let's add in the trumpets right at 18. Trombones are still in. Ready? Yeah. 1, 2, ready, and. Alright, that was good. Make sure that you guys are hearing the pitches. Right now it kind of sounds like you're guessing where the pitches are, which is typical of brass players, because if you don't hear it, you're just pressing down the buttons hoping for the right pitch to come out. So can I have the starting pitch? Can somebody play that first note, that E flat? Which would be a D flat?
Go.
So. Right?
Yeah.
So that was right. That was right. Now can we all put it together? Let's put it together.
Yeah, Ash, get it.
Right at measure 18. And this will help with back where we were just at, because that was the perfect E flat, right? Here you go. 1, 2, ready, and Alright, the rhythm was right, the pitches were right, the articulations were pretty good. They could use more on the marcato, the more tongue front and more air front. But the one measure that I would look into is measure 24. It's da 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 da. So you guys missed the end of before you come down to da 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 da, right? So it goes da 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 da, right? But you guys did not play the last C in measure 24. Does that make sense? So can I just hear? That's actually probably a hard place to start. Would you guys rather just start back at 18? Then
Start back at 9.
What?
Start back at 9.
Yeah, we can start back at 9. You guys feeling better about that E flat now? All right, let's do this, and then we'll add the trumpets or trombones back together, and then we'll listen to articulations between each other, and we'll call it a day, right? So right at measure 9, just trumpets. 1, 2, ready, and. That was good, right? That sounded better? Everybody agree that sounded better? Alright, so there's one part that I wanted to hit on with the trombones. And
Everybody's already packing up and ready to go.
Yeah. Class ends at 26.
Class ends at 26?
Uh-huh.
Alright, well, sorry that I held you guys over.
Oh, it's fine.
Good lesson.
It's easy to pack up these things.
Alright,
Yeah.
before you guys go, what's the two different articulations we talked about?
The marcato and
Starts with a T.
Something.
He said it. Tenuto.
Do it.
Yeah. It's my first day where I actually got to stay.
So what time's your class?
11.
11? Okay. So do you want me to give you some feedback maybe through email? Would that be better? So
You can. As long as I leave like 30, I should make it.
okay, well let's go a couple minutes in there real quick. Do you want to maybe stop your...
Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
It's so much hotter back here than it is in the bedroom.